Study session to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Bill Jarvis.
Here.
Miles Long.
Here.
Tom Curris.
Here.
Chris Rack.
Here.
Bob Kokon.
Here.
Gary Emick, President. Tom Anderson.
Here. Item A, Apollo Group Addition Lot 2, general location 847 to 997 US 41. Apollo Group Addition Lot 2, petitioner Rich Ruth requests a US 41 Commercial Corridor Overlay District Development Plan Review. Good evening, Mr. Ruth. If you want to come up and introduce yourself and speak right into the microphone because this is being broadcast and recorded.
Good evening. My name is Rich Ruth. We're here to request permission to start the construction of the next phase of the property known as 847. That's the old building that we started with on 999 US 41. That's the back. That's the back side of the warehouse. Just roll them up. That's where we're demoing it on the bottom picture. That was the south end. Took the whole upper area down. Removing the area up above, which was approximately 12 foot high and 25 foot wide. That was the old mixing plant there that we took apart. There's part of the roof off the old roof. And that's some scraps of concrete. There we go. That's the concrete that we tore out of 847 Indianapolis Boulevard when we started on it. More pictures. Some more of the concrete that we dug out. And more of the concrete that we dug out. And more of the concrete that we dug out. And more of the concrete that we dug out. There's some good sized pieces in there. That's a continuation of the demo. More of the demo on 847. More of the demo on 847. The size of the one footing that we pulled on 847. It's just another chunk of concrete. And that's a footing that came out from the main portion of the building heading west. It's, I think that was like a foot and a half on the bottom, then in the back, you can see a chunk of concrete sticking up. That was a L-shaped piece of concrete that we pulled. That's another piece of footing that we took out. And another piece of footing. And another piece of footing. And more piles of footing. And that's what they turned into, all the concrete. We crushed it. That's our pile from what we took out of the front of 847 and crushed. Scrapping the rebarb that was in it had to be segregated. I think we got like 6 dumpsters full of rebarb, 1/2 inch, 3/4. And we found that about a month ago. That was in line with, at the end of our existing property where we're extending our sewer over to the property line so we can continue it, but that was in the middle of the sewer line. We found that. No, that's the other side of it. And that's what the building looks like now from where we started with it. This is similar to what the buildings we want to put up are. We have a little bit more gutter and a couple doors to put in, which we hope to finish this year. And put something like that, could be a possibility of the new building. We don't have the exact drawing because we're waiting on FEMA to make up their mind whether they're going to give us the clearance on the floodplain in the back, which contains about 10 foot of our the existing foundation that's in the back on 847. So you got 10 foot that we're arguing about or discussing that we're trying to get a clearance on. I have purchased, that's the south side of our building. I purchased a 48,000 square foot building that's on the ground over there. That's another building similar to what we could build. That's more like a 60-footer that we were going to put on the front portion of the building on the lot once if FEMA gives us a go-ahead on the back portion. So this is what we're talking about. The area in red. You see on the bottom, there's a building. Do you want me to point to it? The old building. Right down the bottom here. That's 125 by 195 area. And there's like 10 feet on the back end that's in the floodplain. So we were going to put the building in front, but now that we're not done with FEMA, I can't go and subdivide it because we're not totally sure of where we're going to wind up with the property lines. So we're asking to do from the proposed buildings forward, running the sewer and water and doing the landscaping and setting the elevations and finish grading. That's one idea that they came in with today. That'll be on the right side of the drive. We're doing, what our intentions are is to give Smith a second access in and give the whole property a second access and possibly a third back around the buildings once we get it done. And we wanted to finish that up this year. We're putting you know, the outcropping and stuff to bring it up and make it look pretty. But we can't do that until we get permission to do it from you guys.
So,
There'll be bushes around the pond, and then up by the red line there's 70 green giant arbs that we're putting in once we get the grade up. What we'd like to do is take the grade where the old fence is down by the bike trail, take the fence out, come across either leveling off the dividing portion between your ditch and our property, and then swooping it down and then going up with the new elevation and then seeding that in with some type of seed and putting the arbs on the top. That would help and give us more than adequate detention and compensatory storage. When Turinga did the comps on that, he set the comps to include that whole section. But we're not talking about the back section now, we're talking about the front section until we get FEMA taken care of.
so what you're looking to do now is put in the retention at the west end, your parking, and 4 buildings?
We're not going to do the 4 buildings until we find out what FEMA's going to do, because
that
like
might
I said,
change.
I got 48,000 worth of square foot building laying on the ground out there that we've purchased. And half of we split the 48 into 2 buildings, so half of it is set on that bottom one where you see the blue line on the
Yeah.
very bottom. Well, this side of the blue line is what we are supposedly in the floodplain, which is kind of, you know, raises your curiosity. If there was a building there and it was in a floodplain and you had a back wall there that we took out, I don't know why we're in the floodplain.
Well, the railroad was also in the floodplain.
I mean,
I said it appears the railroad was also in the floodplain.
correct. But the light gray area, or the grayish area, is all clear and out of floodplain. There's no problem with any of that. The only area, like I said, is the white area on the bottom, by the blue line, the second blue line, that area right in there. When we pulled the, did the concrete grinding, we had that pretty well full. And when we were done with it, we put it back to the original elevations is what it was when we started on it. I don't know why we need to go through the council to put the green area in and make it look better, but, you know, this is what they want, so this is what we're going to do.
So this is your design if FEMA approves it. If FEMA does not take it out, your buildings are gonna change.
Right, what we'll probably do is take the 48,000 square foot building, or 24,000 square foot building, and move it forward. But if we put the gas, the water and the sewer in there, we're gonna put it far enough into the 847 property so that will not interfere with the sewer and water. All we're doing is extending our existing sewer and water that we have at Target, which runs down in front of the warehouse that you saw, the one that we're pretty well done with.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Mr. Jarvis.
Mr. Ruth, quick question, since you're doing the landscaping and the pond and all that, had you talked to FEMA about a mitigation of a trade-off?
I did not handle that, Turinga did.
You should look into that,
Okay,
because
well,
if you do
what-
this,
We have enough retention with the pond in the front, and we have an area in the back that we could put a pond in, and that red line will pick up more than enough to cover that whole piece of property.
I get it. You can basically work with FEMA and trade areas, take this out of wetlands, I'm going to give you this.
Okay, I'll try that.
Yeah, I
Thank
do.
you. Any questions?
So you're looking to get started so you can get your utilities in.
Right, correct. I'd like to get the underground done. I'd like to get the driveway as you come in done. I'd like to get the trees and bushes around the retention pond and get that laid out. And I'd like to go to the north end, pull that unsightly looking fence that's hanging over and get that out and do the ditch, and then come up the side wall and put the green giant arbs up there, about 70 yards. And we're just talking about doing the area in the front, not the back half.
Yeah.
And I just want to get the grade in and get the sewers, the water, and get it cleaned up the rest of the way.
Comments, questions? Anything from staff? Yeah. I mean, it'd be nice to have that finally developed and
I know it. I mean,
And
we
looking
got,
good.
we got a lot of time in it. We broke out and tore up a lot of concrete that was in that ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unbelievable how much we found when we started digging. And I know I got one more section in between the building, the proposed building, and the other proposed building. There's a trench in there about 8 foot long, 4 foot high, and not 8 foot, 8 foot wide, 4 foot high, and I think it's probably going to be about 75 to 80 feet that we have to pull out of there.
yeah.
Some type of tunnel or something they had for the fertilizer factory.
Now, is that recyclable? Do you reuse that concrete, or?
It costs us $12 a ton to crush it. Once the rebarb's out. So we have to break it, get the rebarb out, and then we can do it, and it costs 12 bucks. I sold the concrete to Smith on the last batch, the broken concrete. He ground up like 19,900 tons of cement. A lot of concrete.
Yeah, I'm surprised that that front pond wouldn't compensate for the floodway, but that's not up to us.
You have to
That's,
apply for that.
yeah.
Well, like I said, Turinga has been in contact with FEMA. I wasn't going to step on his toes. I'll ask him to ask them.
Questions, comments, concerns? Yeah, hopefully, you know, they would look at that and say that will mitigate that, and then you can get your buildings how you want them. I understand you can't
Right.
commit to something right now because
Well,
part of
the
that
storage
building is
that
in.
the storage that we have created is sufficient is more than what FEMA wanted, is what I was told by Turinga. So we got more than enough storage space for any water.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, I'd like our front pond to stay full of water. We can go fishing out there, put a few fish in there. It'll be big enough.
all right. Anything further from staff, anything?
Pardon me?
I was just asking staff if they had any questions. Looks good, it'd be nice to get that finally developed.
I'd like to get it done. I needed your help to get started on it, and I need your permission. And then we'll start. I want to get the sewers and waters in, I want to get the green areas done, and the
Well,
grade done.
Denise, and Andy, and Jim, now, would this have to come for a primary to just do the utilities? And, yeah, so you don't have to advertise because you're in the overlay district. So we can get you in and work on the approval for getting your utilities and that, and then once FEMA comes, then you can do your subdivision.
We have the utilities right up to the property line for the sewer, the water, and the gas. NIPSCO hasn't told us what they're doing on the electric yet. They might follow through the building on 999 Highway 41, our existing warehouse that you saw the almost completed picture of.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, get with Denise on getting on the agenda and Turinga can get the engineering to Neil, and
So we're done until the next meeting? We
yeah,
don't
this
do
is a
anything?
study session, so get with Denise to get on the agenda for our public hearing. So your next meeting would be a public hearing where we can have a hearing on doing the infrastructure, and then you could come back for the subdivision, you know, figuring the buildings out once.
I don't know whether FEMA will have an answer back to us.
Right,
by
yeah,
then,
right,
but, you know,
that could
we're,
be,
we're focusing on getting the front half cleaned up. is
right,
what I
and
wanna do.
that's why we'll get you on the agenda to get your front half going, and then we can look at the actual subdivision and the plating of the buildings at another, once you are able to decide where you're gonna get the buildings on the property.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So we'll see you October 6th? Yep. Okay. Any correspondence? We are adjourned.